Hey there, it's Tracy Cotton at Morrow Insurance Agency. Hope that you're doing well this Friday and just getting on here and jumping on Periscope to answer the question of the day today about insurance. For those of you who have seen my Periscopes before, I'm an insurance agent in Marion, North Carolina at Morrow Insurance Agency, and I specialize in small business and farm owners policies. And so I try to answer a question every day. I missed yesterday, actually. Hey, how are you? Good to see you again. And for those of you who actually will catch this replay on YouTube, because I actually record them and put them up on YouTube on the Morrow Insurance channel, if you see me talking to myself, well, other than talking to you, it's because I'm on Periscope and there's little things at the bottom where I might be answering a question or saying hello to somebody who just joined us in the room. So that's your little disclaimer as to why it is that you don't see it when you actually look at it on YouTube. So, but I wanted to. No, you didn't. Yesterday I just got really busy with a client coming in, and the afternoon was just shot after that, so I didn't get a chance to get on Periscope. But I had a question of the day on insurance that I wanted to put out there and give some people some information on, and it's actually on farm insurance. And it's because I get this question sometimes, and people might think that it's really obvious that you would know if you needed a farm policy or not. But what we are finding nowadays is there's a lot of folks out there with just a home. They actually have a home policy. Maybe they have a few acres. And, you know, that's nothing special. You know, a lot of times you can actually put those on a homeowner's policy. But what people are doing nowadays is they're starting to do more farming on smaller pieces of land. They may actually be raising crops just for themselves, just raising, you know, enough stuff in their garden to feed themselves and their family and maybe, you know, give away to friends. And that's actually always been covered underneath the homeowner's policy. But what we're seeing more of is people who are starting to make enough, actually starting to produce enough in their gardens, even on small pieces of land, or they may be actually raising some sort of livestock on small pieces of land in just a couple of 3 or 4 acres. And that changes things up a little bit, because for a home type of policy, the expectation is you probably only have a cat or a dog. Now, some of them allow you to have a horse just for your family's use. If you have a few acres, you know, and it does depend on the insurance company. So as I say before, and I do like to emphasize, talk to your current insurance agent and just say, hey, you know, you've got my home insured, but this is what I've got. If I've got a whole flock of sheep, that's important for them to know, because that probably means you need a Farmowners Policy, even if you are still just raising it for yourself, because the limitations within the home policy really are that there's not a lot of animals on the premises other than a couple of domestic animals. And of course, they also, you know, don't want any dogs that bite. But the real aspect that we're starting to see more people asking about the farm policies is because, sorry about that, little message popped up on my screen, but if you are actually selling your produce, selling your herbs or your flowers or whatever else that you might be growing, even if you could be growing, maybe you're doing some sort of potted plant, it could be anything. Maybe you have greenhouses. I mean, it could be a small amount of acreage and still have room to grow quite a bit nowadays. A lot of people are getting into that. Oh, thank you so much for the hearts. But that's the whole thing, is if you are actually growing something on your property that you're going to sell, there's probably not adequate coverage underneath the home policy for that. Because literally that's meaning that you have a side business. And we've talked in the past about home businesses, and I know that I'm going to do some future scopes on it because I've got some more questions that have come up, which, just so that I can remind everybody, if you've got a question on insurance, small business insurance, or even otherwise, email me at insurancewisetracy@gmail.com. And I need to start just posting that on my scope, but that's where, if you would email me, that would be great, just because I'll see those really quickly, and I can just send you a quick answer back, or if you want me to do a question of the day on it, I'll be happy to do that too. And sometimes I will just send you right back to your insurance agent, because there's a lot of folks that'll have questions that are very specific to the state that you live in, or even other countries, which I don't have any experience in. But if it's just a general insurance question about insurance principles, I'd be happy to talk to you about those things just to help you out. And again, if you know of somebody who has a small business or a farm that has questions, tell them to tune in. Tell them to get a hold of me. I'd love to help, give them some information just so they can feel a little bit more educated about insurance, because it's such an important part of having a business. And getting back to the original question, when you are not just farming for yourself, you most likely need a farm owner's policy, because the liability that you get underneath it will help cover you for the business aspects of actually selling, even if you're not selling actually on the farm. If you're going out to a farmer's market or a tailgate market, sometimes they may even ask you for coverage. Thank you so much for the hearts. And if they're asking you for coverage, what they're really looking for is for you to have some sort of little policy on the business. And that's something that's, it's easily, taken care of. And we, as insurance agents, most anybody should be able to help you with that. And there may be some other things that'll come up as well, that you would get much broader coverage if you would, hey, how are you doing? You would have much broader coverage under the farm policy if you were doing really any kind of farming at all, especially if you have additional equipment, if you're storing things. Some of that you may just not be covered well enough underneath your homeowner's policy for. But especially if you are selling to others or you have livestock, do check with your agent to make sure that you're okay with the coverage that you currently have on your home, because it may be that you need to switch over to a farm policy. So that's it for the day, really. I hope that everybody's having a great Friday and look forward to a great weekend. I will definitely be catching all of you next week, because I do this just Monday through Friday. And again, I'm with Morrow Insurance Agency in Marion, North Carolina. And my name is Tracy. And my tagline is, who cares about your insurance? And that's me. Take care.